The sky above Earth was calm. People were busy with their daily lives. Some walked in parks, others worked in offices, and children laughed on school grounds. They had no idea that far beyond their planet a massive force was moving toward them. In the dark space between stars, 9,900 alien warships flew in perfect formation. They came from the Galactic Union, a powerful group of species who ruled many parts of the galaxy. They believed Earth was weak and backward, still using old technology and slow ships. The Council of the Galactic Union had decided it was time to take Earth. So they wanted its resources, its location, and most of all, to teach humans their place. They thought Earth would surrender without a fight. Many of their leaders laughed at the idea of resistance. After all, humans had never fought an alien war before. The commander of the invasion fleet was a tall, four-armed alien named Zakar. He had led many battles and had never lost. He stood on the bridge of the lead ship, looking down at the blue. In Green Planet, "Send the message," he ordered. A powerful signal reached Earth, was translated into all major human languages. The message was short. "You are now part of the Galactic Union. Surrender your weapons and cities. No chance. Resistance will be crushed." Earth did not answer. Zakar waited. 5 minutes passed, and 10, then an hour. Still, there was no reply. Some of his officers looked worried. "Maybe their systems are too weak to respond," one of them said. Zakar didn't care. "Begin the descent. Show them what power truly is." As the fleet moved closer to Earth's orbit, strange things began to happen. The ship's scanners showed odd readings. Something was interfering with their signals. Some screens turned black for a few seconds, then came back. Some ships started to lose contact with each other. Zakar frowned. "Report. Minor interference." Commander, a tech officer, replied, "Probably caused by their weather systems." Zakar nodded. "Ignore it. We're too many. Launch the first wave." A group of 3,000 ships moved ahead. They were to break into the atmosphere, land in key areas, and force Earth's leaders to surrender. The ships entered Earth's sky, then silence. No explosions, no lights, no messages, just silence. One by one, those 3,000 ships vanished from the screens. Some were marked as destroyed. Others simply disappeared. No wreckage, no signals, nothing. "What's happening?" Zakar shouted. "We don't know," the officer said. "They're gone." Panic began to spread across the bridge. This had never happened before. Zakar ordered the second wave, 2,000 more ships, to spread out. Scan the areas where the first wave was lost. Again, ships flew in. Again, silence. Some ships sent short bursts of video before going dark. The images were confusing clouds, turning solid, strange lightning wrapping around ships, and flashes of human-made drones attacking with perfect timing. The third wave refused to move. Zakar was furious. "Send the fourth wave. Now." The crew hesitated. "Commander, we have already lost over half of the fleet." Zakar slammed his hand on the control panel. "They're just humans. How can they stop us?" Back on Earth, there was no panic. The world governments had been secretly preparing for years. They knew the day would come. Long ago, when a tiny alien probe was shot down in the Pacific Ocean, the truth had been revealed. Since then, Earth had united in secret. They didn't build big ships or loud weapons. They built smart systems, silent traps, and powerful defense. Networks hidden in the skies, oceans, and even space. They never told the galaxy they were ready. They let the aliens think they were slow and harmless, and now that lie was paying off. By the end of the day, over 7,000 alien ships were gone. Some were destroyed by hidden railguns placed deep under the oceans. Others were fooled by false signals and lured into black holes created by special energy fields. Never even entered the atmosphere. Their engines shut down mid-space, and their ships drifted into nothing on the Galactic Union's homeworld. The Council received broken signals and garbled reports. Only one clear message came through, from a ship escaping near Mars. "Earth is not what we thought," they knew. "We're waiting." And then, silence. The command ship of the Galactic Fleet hovered above Earth in complete confusion. Commander Zakar stood still, his 4 hands gripping the edge of the console. All around him, screens blinked red. The reports were worse than before. Of the fleet was gone. No communication, no distress signals, no escape pods. Just silence, Commander, one officer said in a shaky voice. We are receiving data packets from the outer ring of the fleet. They're incomplete, but it looks like they were under attack. By what? Zakar growled. Earth has. No war fleet. They have no space weapons. Another officer pointed at a frozen image on the screen. Showed something small, barely the size of a shuttle, flying directly toward a galactic destroyer. The alien ship fired at it, but the small object seemed to vanish and reappear, dodging every strike. It then released a pulse of energy that cut straight through the destroyer's hull. The screen went black after that. Was that human technology? Zakar asked. We don't know. Our systems can't track it. The crew didn't understand how a so-called primitive species could use such advanced stealth and precision. The humans had never shown this level of power before. They had stayed quiet for so long, and now it was like Earth had become a shadow, striking without warning and leaving no trace. The 5th wave was already on the move before Zakar could cancel it. Another 1,000 ships spread out in all directions, flying just above the planets. Clouds. They activated all their scanners, heat sensors, and defense shields. This time, they were readier, so they thought. The first attack came not from the ground but from above. Something was hiding in Earth's orbit. Unknown platforms, painted black and nearly invisible, fired strange energy beams that sliced through the alien ships. Some beams caused explosions without heat. Others shut down ships without damage. Entire groups of ships began to fall like stones. Pull them back, Zakar shouted. They're being picked off like insects. But it was too late. In 6 minutes, 850 of those 1,000 ships were gone. Back on Earth, in bunkers deep under the Rocky Mountains, human leaders watched the battle unfold. General Ellis, a tall man with gray hair and calm eyes, stood with his arms crossed. Behind him, several screens showed falling alien ships, breaking into pieces in the sky. They still think we're weak, he said quietly, a young officer. Beside him smiled. They won't think that much longer, sir. Earth's defenses were unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Instead of building massive fleets like the Galactic Union, humans had built weapons that used speed, invisibility, and precision. Their war drones were small but deadly. Their satellites were quiet but clever, and their skies had been turned into traps. Waiting for any intruder, the ocean surface had been still, but below it, submarines and sea-based platforms had already taken out hundreds of enemy ships. The forests were full of hidden missile sites. Even the deserts had robotic tanks that rose from under the sand, fired, then vanished again. In space, Earth's newest project named Shadow Ring was now active. This system used quantum-based camouflage and energy pulses that the aliens couldn't detect. It didn't just attack, it confused. It blinded sensors. It made ships see friendly targets as enemies. Entire squadrons were destroying each other, without realizing it. On the Galactic Fleet's side, fear was spreading faster than fire. Commanders were shouting over each other. Many didn't want to go down to the planet anymore. Some even began turning their ships away, trying to escape. Zakar knew what fear looked like, and now he saw it everywhere. Send out a ceasefire signal, he finally said. What message should we send? Asked an officer. Tell them we surrender. Or at least we wish to talk. The message was sent. For 10 long minutes there was no reply. Then a single signal arrived from Earth. It was short and simple. You wanted war. Now you have it. Zakar fell back in his seat. For the first time in his life, he had no plan. His eyes stared at the screen as the last group of his warships entered Earth's atmosphere. Prepare for emergency escape protocols, he said, almost whispering. Only a few officers nodded. Many already knew the truth. Very few would leave Earth alive. The sky over Earth had turned quiet again, but not because the fight had ended. Most of the alien ships were gone, destroyed, lost, or scattered. Only a few remained above the planet, and even those looked damaged, confused, and alone. Inside, one of those ships, Commander Zakar, stood at the center of the bridge. watching the broken pieces of his once great fleet float in orbit. Smoke filled the air. Sparks flew from open wires. His officers were silent. No one dared speak. He had never seen a battle like this. "How many ships are left?" he finally asked. A junior officer looked down at the cracked screen. "Less than 100, sir, and most of them are retreating. They're not answering commands." Zakar's red eyes burned. "They are cowards." But deep inside, he didn't blame them. This was no normal war. They had attacked Earth, thinking it would be easy. They brought power, they brought numbers, but humans. They had brought silence, patience, and something worse than seen strength. The commander looked again at the screen. Earth's surface showed no major cities burning, no signs of defeat. Instead, alien landing forces that had reached the ground had all gone dark. There were no distress calls, only silence. "Did we find any human bases?" Zakar asked. "No, Commander." Our scouts entered several human cities. They were empty. Streets clear. Buildings untouched. Then where are the humans? "We don't know." Down on Earth, hidden below the surface in deep underground tunnels, humans were moving. Teams of soldiers and engineers watched every alien movement through hidden cameras and drones. Earth's plan had worked so far: confuse, trap, and eliminate. Without exposing their full strength, Major Lena moved through one of the control bunkers beneath what once looked like an empty mountain. She stopped in front of a large screen, showing the location of the remaining alien ships. "What's their next move?" she asked. A tech expert beside her replied, "They're scared. They don't know where to go. Most of their leaders are gone. They're trying to stay out of our atmosphere." Lena nodded. "Good. Keep them guessing." Another officer spoke up. "Should we begin the surface operation?" "Not yet," Lena replied. "Let them come to us." A few alien ground units had landed in different parts of the world: forests, deserts, and open lands. They thought they would capture humans, set up command posts, and prepare for control. But what they found instead were traps in a dense jungle. In South America, one alien group walked through the green trees, their armor bright and clean. They had advanced scanners and energy weapons, but with every step, the jungle grew darker. The trees blocked their vision. The ground shifted. Then, without warning, small machines jumped from behind the trees and attacked. These machines were fast, almost invisible, and hit their weak points without mercy. None of the aliens made it back. In a desert area, another group had landed near what looked like an abandoned human town. They moved through the quiet streets, scanning buildings, looking for signs of life. One soldier kicked open a door only to trigger a chain explosion that destroyed the entire squad in seconds. Cameras hidden in the dust sent live footage back to human control. In the oceans, things were worse for the invaders. Several alien submarines tried to scan the seas, thinking humans might be hiding there. But they never found anything because the oceans belonged to Earth, and the oceans fought back. Hidden sea mines, robotic fish, and stealth submarines attacked silently. The aliens could not tell what was real and what was not. Some ships went deep and never returned. Back on the alien command ship, the panic was now open. Officers argued, some begging for retreat. Others refused, saying the council would punish them if they returned in failure. Zakar said nothing for a long time. Then he spoke softly. They were always ready. We were fooled. We saw their silence as fear, but they were watching. Bridge went silent. "Send a message to the Galactic Union," he continued. "Tell them we failed, but sir, do it." The message was sent. No one on the ship believed they would be rescued. Deep inside, most had already given up. But Zakar looked at the blue planet one last time. "This is no ordinary world," he whispered. "This is a world of ghosts, traps, and quiet fury." Knew the truth now. Earth was not just defending itself. Earth was teaching a lesson. The sky over Earth was now filled with the remains of the alien fleet. Broken pieces of metal floated like silent reminders of what had happened. The proud force of the Galactic Union was no longer proud, was broken, lost, and nearly gone. "Commander?" Zakar sat alone in the command chamber. His officers no longer gave him reports. They only waited, hoping for orders that might save them. But even he knew there was no escape now. At the moment they had entered Earth's space, their fate had been sealed. On the surface of the planet, hidden human forces were ready for the final step. General Ellis stood in a dark command room beneath a mountain base. His eyes stared at a map showing the last of the alien ships. "Are the strike teams in place?" he asked calmly. "Yes, sir," replied an officer. "They're waiting for your signal." "Good," Ellis said. "Wait a few more minutes. Let the aliens think we've stopped." He wanted the enemy to feel false hope. For a moment, the alien survivors did believe that maybe Earth had pulled back. Their scanners picked up no new attacks. The skies were quiet. Some commanders even ordered repair teams to fix damaged systems. XAKR looked out at the peaceful curve of the planet. "Perhaps they're done," he said aloud. "Perhaps they're giving us a chance." But then something appeared. A single human ship. It was small, sharp-looking, and moved silently through space. No lights, no engines, glowing, just quiet motion. "What is that?" one of the alien officers asked. "Target it," another shouted, but their weapons didn't lock on. The ship moved too fast, too smooth. Then, within seconds, it fired a burst of light and unknown energy pulse. The nearest alien ship shut down completely. No explosion, just silence. Its lights went dark, its engines cold. Then another ship fell, and another more human ships appeared, still small, still silent. They did not fight with noise or bright blasts. They simply took control of the space around them. Each attack was clean, fast, and final. Inside the command ship, Zakar watched in horror. "This is not war," he whispered. "This is ... control." On the ground, strike teams moved quickly. Had been training for years for this exact moment. In forests, mountains, cities, and caves, they hunted down the last alien soldiers. They didn't use brute force. They used traps, speed, and knowledge of the land. One human soldier named Brian led a small squad through the ruins of an alien camp. They found no survivors, only abandoned equipment and signs of panic. "They left fast," Brian said. "They knew we were coming. Should we chase them?" one of his teammates asked. Brian shook his head. "No need. They won't get far." In another part of the world, Major Lena's team surrounded the final alien ground group. They used sound weapons to confuse them, smoke to block their vision, and robotic dogs to scare them into surrender. The aliens dropped their weapons. Their leader, shaking, raised his arms. "We came thinking you were weak," he said in broken English. "We were wrong." Lena didn't smile. She only said, "You should have stayed away." In space, the remaining alien ships tried to escape. They turned their engines toward the edge of the solar system. But the human defense network was not finished. Earth had placed satellites far beyond its moon hidden, its platforms that could move and strike without being seen, as the escaping ships passed near Jupiter. Those platforms came alive. Beams of light flashed across space. Ships vanished, one by one. When it was over, only 17 alien ships remained. Damaged, smoking, and nearly out of power, they floated toward the stars. Commander Zakar was aboard one of them. He had lost everything: his army, his pride, and his belief that his people were the strongest. He recorded one final message to the Galactic Union. "Do not come to Earth again," he said. "They are not like us. They are not loud or proud. They are quiet, they watch, they wait, and when they strike, they do not miss." The message was sent. The 17 ships continued drifting, heading toward deep space. Their only hope was to return to their homeworld and tell the truth. Behind them, Earth remained calm. Humans did not cheer. They did not celebrate. They only watched. The stars, they knew others were out there, and they knew more would come. But now, the galaxy would remember. Earth was not a weak planet. It was a trap. The stars stretched far across the sky, peaceful and quiet again. Earth had survived the largest alien invasion in galactic history. Out of 9,900 enemy ships, only 17 had escaped. And even those were broken, filled with fear and silent. In space, Earth's defense systems returned to standby mode. The hidden satellites powered down. Sea platforms went back underwater. The small but deadly human ships vanished into their secret hangars. No one on Earth gave speeches. No one showed the world what had happened. They didn't need to. The galaxy was already listening in the capital of the Galactic Union. High above a gas giant, the council gathered in silence. Leaders of many alien races sat in a large circle. They had received the message from Commander Zacher. Some refused to believe it. Others trembled. The image of a man-made ship disabling entire fleets without a sound haunted them. A recording of Zacher's voice played again. Do not return to Earth. They are quiet, patient, and deadly. They do not scream when attacked. They simply erase you. The council leader, a pale blue creature with 6 eyes, looked around the room. We underestimated them, a smaller council member asked. But how did they hide this for so long? No one answered. Back on Earth, General Ellis stood in a forest clearing, looking at the wreckage of an alien ship that had fallen days ago. Trees had grown through parts of it already, vines wrapped around its broken wings. It looked peaceful, now like it had always been part of nature. Major Lena walked up beside him. The cleanup teams report no more alien signals on the surface. Good, Ellis said. And the civilians? Safe. Most never even knew what happened. Just like we planned. Earth had built its defense system not to show off, but to survive. The humans had agreed long ago that their greatest strength was not power, but patience. They did not rush into space trying to claim planets. They stayed quiet. They listened. They learned. When they saw what the galaxy was like, wars, greed, and endless fighting, they prepared, not with giant fleets, but with clever systems. With unity, understanding, and a small underground base, a team of engineers sat around a dark table. On the wall was a message. Project Sentinel, Phase 2. We won the battle, one of them said. But not the war, another replied. They knew more would come. Maybe not now, maybe not next year. But the galaxy was big, and word was spreading. Some alien groups would fear Earth. Others would be curious. A few might come seeking revenge. The humans were not afraid of that. In space, near the edge of the solar system, a tiny probe activated. It sent a message into deep space. It was not a warning. It was not a threat. It simply said, Earth is protected. Do not test us again. Many light years away, those 17 alien ships finally reached a border world. The beings who saw them were shocked. The ships were dented, dark, and full of wounded crew. Most of them couldn't speak. Their eyes were blank. Their minds were frozen in fear. They told stories of cities that moved, oceans that attacked, and machines that struck without a sound. One officer said he saw a human weapon melt through a ship like it was paper. Another spoke of forests that swallowed soldiers. No one laughed. Soon, every map in the galaxy was updated. A red circle appeared around Earth's system. Across that circle were 3 words: Do not enter. On Earth, life returned to normal. Children played again. Workers returned to their jobs. The news said very little. People were told it was just a solar storm that affected satellites. But those who had fought, those who had watched from the shadows, they knew the truth. Brian sat on a bench in a quiet park, his uniform hidden under a hoodie. He smiled as a child ran past him, chasing a toy drone. Lena passed him on her way to headquarters. They nodded. Without speaking, they didn't need medals. They didn't need thanks. They had protected Earth. And now, the galaxy knew. Earth was no longer just a small blue planet. It was a name, whispered with fear. A name spoken with respect. Because 9,900 ships came to conquer it, and only 17 made it back.